Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Strange Radios. My name is Jeremy. It's been a while. Um, I don't know that I've shot anything on this computer yet before. I'm looking at the video quality and it's not ideal. We're a little choppy. That's fine. I think the audio's maybe a little quieter than normal. I was talking to this earlier and it wasn't really working that well. That's an octopus. Doesn't make a great mic apparently. So, yeah, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm here to talk about three three rap albums um, that sort of describe my listening habits when it comes to hip hop. So, why I'm doing this? Dead End Hip Hop. I guess we're going back a couple weeks now. They had a live show where they talked about three albums that would best describe them as listeners. And most of the guys, when they answered that question, they took it as which three albums best describe the kind of genres that they listen to, or the best kind of subgenres and kind of hip hop that they like. Um, the way I initially took the question, and I think it's the same way that Mike Seatown took the question, which was basically these aren't my favorite three rap albums. These aren't even necessarily describing what kind of genres I listen to, but they are albums that if you listen to them, you would kind of get to know me as a person. I think that's the way Mike took it, and that's kind of the way I took it as well. So what I've done is I've selected three albums here. I'm going to talk about them very briefly. This isn't going to be a very long video. I'm kind of dipping my toes back into it, as it were. I want to start making videos again. It's life's been a whirlwind for everybody. Just trying to get caught up. Anyways, let's go. First CD. They're all CDs. Apologies to the people who like vinyl. I don't. First CD that in terms of three rap albums that describe my personality or would describe me as a person. Malibu Ken. Malibu Ken. What I like about this is that the cover, you can kind of move it around a little bit and it looks like he's looking around. Whoa, that's so goofy. Anyways, so that's a project by Aesop Rock and Tobacco. Aesop Rock has long been my favorite rapper. I honestly had never heard Tobacco before this. Um, his production on this album is fantastic, and I've gone back and I've listened to a bit of his earlier stuff before this. It's okay. I don't hate it, certainly, but it didn't enthrall me the way this did. Um, so this album is very short. I think it's like 10 tracks, and it's just Ace rapping over these very spacey synthesizers, and it sounds really cool. The reason I really relate to this album, and I think it would sort of describe me as a listener, is that I've often described it to friends as this is a rap album for people who don't like to go outdoors. It's for like the way Ace raps on it. What he's describing is very much isolation, and he's also touching on sort of social anxieties and just wanting solitude, basically. And a lot of the album touches on those themes. And as someone who is very solitary and is very socially anxious, it was really, really fun to hear almost an entire record basically covering those themes. And so, yeah, to get to know me through hip hop, this would be probably the entry point. Building upon that, we have Clipping, Visions of Bodies Being Burned. Now, I could have gone with. I grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed There Existed an Addiction to Blood. I meant to grab. Oh, whatever. Apologies. Very much apologies. So, Clipping with their. Let's just choose both, right? They're back to back, year to year. There Existed an Addiction to Blood, followed by Visions of Bodies Being Burned. Uh, just very dark, very ominous, horror themed hip hop. And it's it accomplishes what I never thought a rap album could do when it comes to covering hip hop, which is to make it not cheesy. Right? They do this seriously and it works. It's really effective. It's creepy sounding on both records. Um, I can't believe I grabbed the wrong one. The reason I want to pick this is because there is a part of me that is just really drawn to that sort of dark underbelly. And I'm actually not a huge fan of horror films, typically. I'll watch them, but it's not my go to. But I am very much drawn to, documentaries and real life stories of like the most horrific people that have ever existed, that kind of thing. I'm really intrigued by that kind of stuff. The sort of extremity of some human minds. And I think what Clipping does on this album and the following record is they really delve into horror themes and sort of these thrills that come from a very dark and very ominous place. Um, yeah, so that'd be my second choice. I should also point out that on the first record, Malibu Ken, um, there's a song on there about a murderer as well called Acid King. Themes. My third CD, and I grabbed the right one, so don't worry about it. Um, Open Mike Eagle, Brick Body Kids Still Daydream. So I have to be upfront. I'm not super familiar with Open Mike Eagle. Obviously, I know this album, and I've listened to a couple others, but not a whole lot. I know he has a lot more material than I'm familiar with, and I really should get around to jumping into the rest of it. But as it is, let's just focus on this album. The reason I picked this album to describe me, or to help describe me as a person through hip hop. Apologies for that. My cat was hidden behind a bookshelf and was scratching, and I didn't know what the fuck was happening. You fucking terrorizer, Jesus. That scared me. It's like 3 a.m. and I just hear this scratch. Anyways, all right. Open Mike Eagle, Brick Body Kids Still Daydream. The reason I picked this as a representation of my personality is that Mike's voice on this is very subtle. It's very quiet. He doesn't get loud. He doesn't really get worked up, even when he's talking about some serious shit. And that's a pretty good way to describe my general day-to-day interactions with people. Is I'm very subtle, very laid back, very quiet. I'm usually soft-spoken. I don't raise my voice, and so that I think is a it's a personality trait that belongs to this record that I share, and that's basically why I would choose it. And those are my three records. Um, yeah, that's it. I would encourage other people to do this as well because I thought it was a really fascinating topic that they discussed on Dead End Hip Hop. I really liked it. I've been meaning to do this for a couple weeks now, but like I said, things get in the way. I'm gonna keep this one short, and I think that's it. How do I sign off? This has been Strange Radios. Stranger, adios.